16th to Toledo. So default. I'm going to the Science Museum on Toledo on the 16th. So I hope to see some of you guys. All right. So Toledo Science Museum. Meet me in person. Science Museum. I love science museums. November 16th. Anybody close to Toledo at all? Anybody close to Toledo? I'll be there. I'm going to bring my wife with me. I think she's going to come. Be there if they let me be there. Not for two. Sorry, Chloe. Yeah, it's closest to me. I'm like I said, I'm in Michigan, and it's only about 60 minutes away. But Columbus is 3 hours, and Cincinnati's 5. So it's like, oh, is it Rachel? Okay, yeah, yep, yeah, Toledo. So anybody from Toledo? Hey, Danny Lynn, how are you? You're new today. Good to see you. Let's see if there's anybody else in here that's new. I don't think that's it. I think that's anybody else new. All right. Okay, Danny, thank you. Thank you very much. So these are the people that are supposed to be new. If you guys could say hello to Danny, that would be great. All right. Let me see if I got the names in there. Who is in there? There we go. I got Carson. Is Carson in here today? Carson, no Carson. And I have Kevin. Is Kevin in here today? Kevin, no Kevin. And Brianna, nope. Okay. So Danny, if you we'll meet after. So about 30 minutes from now, we'll meet in a breakout room, and I'll explain things to you as how it works. Is that okay with you? All right, good. And I'll just give you the heads up on what's going on. All right. So, well, you guys are going to take that post test for the periodic table. So let me have you guys practice one more time. I'm going to let you guys practice in groups. Okay. So I'm going to be doing teams. Okay. So I'm going to show you this, show you the teams here. I'm going to do team sport. Okay. Did I do it right? Okay. Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're going to start the quiz. Classic teams. Okay, continue. So get in there, get in your favorite team, see how you do. Here is the link for that. Hi, Kylie, how are you? Okay, so here we go. There is the link for this. Remember your first name, last initial. I'm good. I'm good. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Oh my gosh, I was walking out the dog at night, Millie at night, and it felt like summer. It felt like summer. And it's supposed to be nice all week. I am, and it's almost November. So yeah, you can just to see how it works in a group. Yep, you probably don't know any of the questions, but it doesn't matter. I just want to get an idea of what it feels like. So it's a participation point. Thanks. Yeah. See if there's anybody else in here that's new. All right, get in there, ladies and gentlemen. We got 30 people. We should get at least half of you in there. Hey, Ken, you're new, right? Ken, you're new today, right? I see that Kenneth new, and you have a new. Your name is new. Hey, I'm going to have a breakout room at the end of the hour, probably the last 30 minutes. I'll tell you how the class goes. If you want to get into this link just to get an idea how it feels, you don't have to worry about getting the answers right. Just to give it a guess, okay? All right. And guys, thank you very much for getting in there, because remember this is part of the Ohio requires that we do something to improve vocabulary, and we're doing vocabulary games. So that the more you participate, the better it looks for my data. I don't use your name for data. I don't even use the class for data. I just say this is how many people practiced with the games. This is how many people practiced and did the test, and then we try to see if the games really help our um, participation, or the participation helps the vocabulary. So, and it is physical science is a bunch of vocabulary. All right, I'm going to post this. Take the face off. For that. So we're going to meet in a breakout room at the end of the hour. Okay, so in about 30 minutes. Okay, so right. So what we're talking about today is distinguishing between groups and families using the family names. Hey, Gabby. Um, you can relate the period number to the number of electron arrangement, and you can relate the valence electrons by the group. All right. So we're going to be doing, okay, so this is our first review question. This is a fair game question for the assignment here. Let's start a poll. All right. What name? Okay, so we did this one yesterday. Just got to remember what is what element has two valence electrons in period three. Okay, so type in the answer here. Let's see what you can remember. Start the poll. So remember, two valence electrons, right, is going to be there. So you go down that column until you get to period three. Remember what that one was? Magnesium, right? Okay, another way of saying this, what element is an alkaline earth metal? Alkaline earth metal. An alkaline earth metal has um, in this is the name of that column. Okay. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Your mic went on there. And period three, remember, are your rows and the number of shells. So magnesium has three shells, three electron orbits. Okay. It has two electrons in the first shell, 8 electrons in the second shell, and 2 electrons in the third shell. All these have 2 electrons in the outer shell, 2 electrons in the outer shell. For those people that are new, this may be review, but it may not be. The outer shell are the bonding electrons. All right, publish the poll. Some people put beryllium, only one person. Again, it's column 2, period 3. All right. Most of you guys got magnesium. Great job. Okay. All right. So now today what we're going to be doing is talking about the transition metals. We talked about alkaline and alkali metals yesterday. That's group 1 and 2. So the transition metals are found in group 3 through 12. These metals are less reactive than group 1 and 2. So we talked about those yesterday, group 1 and 2. Their electrons do not always follow the regular rules for electron shells. These metals can also use the two outermost electron shells to make the bond. So the transition metals are in what's circled there, right? And here you can see that the transition metals can sometimes have 3 electrons or 4 electrons. And chromium can do 2, 3, 4, or 6, so they bond in different ways. So that's why we're not going to talk about them because they're a lot more complicated and devoted for chemistry class. Thanks, Grace. Got your question there, your answer. Okay, so we're going to be talking now about the last two. We talked about the transition metals here. Let me change the color here. Transition is right in here. Okay, transitional. Okay, um, metals. Okay, remember all these are the metals that go down through here. These are the metals. So out of the 118 elements, most of them are metals. These are the nonmetals, and these in the purple are the metalloids. Okay, metalloids are elements that kind of like metals. They're kind of semi-metals, and that's where you get the semiconductors. Semiconductors right there. So the semiconductor is silicon. That's what our computers are run on. The metals are hard, and so metalloids can be shiny, and the metals are shiny. Okay, metals have are malleable, which means you can pound them into foil. You can make aluminum foil out of them. You can bend them or make into the wire. That's they call ductile. Metalloids are somewhat shiny. Sometimes they're somewhat conductors. Metals are very good conductors of heat, electricity, and nonmetals have none of the properties of metals. Okay, so noble gases are that series of elements that are found in group 18. And when we think about group 18, remember we cross out the 1 and that tells us our valence electrons. Okay, and what you'll notice is valence electron, when it has 8, it's full. Now there is an exception to the rule, which is helium. Okay, it only has one shell. It's in row 1, one shell. And remember, the first shell can have a maximum of 2. So this is a full shell at 2. So everything else has the valence electron. The outer shells are full. It's very non-reactive, or what they call inert. They do not form bonds. Okay, what we use, we electrify them, then we get neon lights. Okay, which are those really colorful little lights that you see for signs. You also can use them to preserve things. So museum property, that museum like the Constitution is a written document on paper. If you leave it out in the open air, it'll turn brittle, break up, turn brown. So now what they do is they have it in glass cases, and there's, I think, argon in there. Argon does not react with the paper, because oxygen does react with the paper. So we try to take the oxygen out and put the argon in, and that helps preserve things. Um, so those are called the noble gases, because if you think about people that are noble, like kings or queens, they used to think of them as very snooty. Snooty, that means they only um, talk to other kings and queens, right? I'm going to talk to the people that are other kings from other countries. They don't talk to the peasants, anybody, the normal folk. Um, so that's where they got their name. Noble gases don't want to be with anybody. So kings and queens, they only want to be with kings and queens. So again, that's where the noble gases came from. That's where that information came from. So helium was first discovered in 1868 through a solar eclipse. They were able to identify that helium was the in the sun, and it is in the sun because hydrogen is the gas that powers the sun, but the what happens, the fuel that's left over when you use hydrogen to create this big uh, furious sun generating all this heat is you get helium. Helium comes from the word helios, right? So you can see these elements were not found until close to the 19th century. They were in the 19th century, close to 1900. Okay. So here's a fair question for you. All right. So let's start this poll here. Start a poll. Name a noble gas with only one shell. Okay. So name a noble gas. If you're paying attention, name a noble gas. Gas with only one shell. One shell. So this is typed. So you got to remember where the element is, where the noble gases are. Noble gases. Tell me what if you think you know. What noble gas? Thanks, Chloe. You got it. Thanks, Jaleel. Jaleel. I got you. Devin's got it. Chloe's got it. Rachel's got it. Jalea's got it. Loader. Okay, so remember the noble gas is in group 18. So we go down here and remember period 1 is right here. So we're going to go all the way over to this one. Only one shell. Also has only 2 electrons, right? 2 electrons. Okay, because 2 electrons is full. Okay, so helium is what you're looking for. All right, so noble gas 18. Noble gas is group 18. Okay, all right, so how many people got that or figured out what I said here? Okay, thanks for participating, ladies and gentlemen. Got 8 of you did. Okay, hopefully you're not too worried about answering questions. I just a check for you. Helium is fairly rare on Earth. Scientists believe helium in the universe is created at the formation of the universe. New helium is created at the center of stars. Helium is radioactive, can be found in trapped gas reservoirs. All right, neon was discovered in 1898 by Scottish chemist William Ramsay. What they did is they cooled the atmosphere until it became liquid, and then they that's when they found krypton, xenon, and of course neon. So it's part of the atmosphere, but very small parts. Okay. All right. So the next one we're going to be talking about is the halogen group. Halogen group is in period 17. I'm sorry, column 17 or 17. Remember, it has, when we say 17, that is column 17. Now we're going to call it the halogen group. That's fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. And we take the 1 off, and that's how many valence electrons or electrons that bond. Okay, so here it says just what I said. It's a nonmetal found in group 17. There are 7 valence electrons, which means they only need 1 more for a full shell. They are very reactive and combine with many different elements. Very reactive. Okay, here's some examples of this. Now, these fluorine comes in what they call a double or a diatom. So it's has 2 atoms in. When we find it, it comes together as 2 atoms, is bonded to itself. So is chlorine. Okay, so halogen comes from the Greek word salt former. Okay, fluorine, chlorine, and iodine. It's very reactive. 7 valence electrons will accept 1, and it easily combines with metals. Okay, so metals like here, NaCl combine to make salt, the table salt that you put on your French fries. Okay, so it combines and makes the salt. So here is chlorine, a poisonous gas. It's a poisonous gas. And here's a very reactive metal, and you put those two together and you get salt. Okay. Um, so, and again, you have to be very careful of ammonia. Ammonia has lots of chlorine in it. If you add it to bleach, you get chlorine gas and you'll die. So again, what happens for a lot of people, they think, oh, bleach will disinfect, kill germs, and ammonia cuts grease. A lot of times, I found this out at restaurants. They say they mix them two together, and then the guy cleaning and mopping on the floor goes into a coma and dies if they're in there too long. So do not combine bleach and chlorine together, bleach and ammonia together. That is at least one or two deaths a year just because of that. They just don't realize those things shouldn't be mixed. If you go to the grocery store to buy these things, you'll notice that bleach and ammonia are not even on the same aisle. All right, so not even on the same aisle. Okay, so name a halogen. Let's do this one. Start a poll here. Okay, name a halogen. This one, name a halogen. Okay, keeps you going here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you got a comfortable bed next to you, it keeps you going here. Remember, halogens, where are they? All right, somebody's got one. Yep, there's another person's got one. Thanks, DeAndre. Thanks, Rachel. Julia, thank you. Loader, thank you. All right, so halogens are in group 17. So any one of these, F, Cl, Br, I, At, okay, right? Right? Those are the ones that you can have there. So any one of those are halogens. They have 7 valence electrons, okay? So a lot of you did say same thing, fluorine and chlorine. All right. Name an element with 7 valence electrons in period 13, period 3. Okay, so 7 valence electrons is saying it's a halogen. So remember where halogens are. Halogen. Okay, and let's start a poll here. So 7 valence electrons is the same thing as halogen. 7 valence. And period 3. Remember, period 3 is row 3. All right. Type response. What is it? Start a poll. So so it's in column 17. That's your valence 7. Remember, I take off the 1. I get 7. All right. And then I go all the way over 3. What do I get? All right. A lot of you got it. Thanks, Grace. If you didn't get that it's chlorine, do so. Put that in there. Chat now. Tell me that you're available. Hey, good job. 17 is the column number, which is the name for halogen, and we cross out the ones on these, and that'll tell us how many electrons in the outer shells. So we ignore these. We don't really worry about these. We just go. So column 1 has 1 valence electron, column 2 has 2 valence electrons, and we jump over this valley and we get to column 13 has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, but helium has 2. All right. Publish the poll. Good job, guys. Chlorine is what you got. Okay, so we're going to stop right there, ladies and gentlemen. We got about 25 minutes left. I'm going to open up a breakout room. All right, so again, as I said, on November 16th, I'm going to be at the Toledo Science Museum. If anybody's close to that, it's a Thursday. It's one of those field trip days. All right, so today, what I'd like to do is to invite the new people to a breakout room. So I'm going to do that. You guys, everybody else should be doing W10 bonus 2, bonus 2, 2, or the first test, a W10 chapter test. It's only 10 questions. Chapter test. Chapter test 1. Okay. Or finish W9 or W8. So any of those, anything that you can do W9, which is week 9, or week 8. So those are over. I think that those will help you grade up if you haven't done that. So also, if you take a look, I think I said this earlier, I will do this again for you guys. If you take a look in block 2, help you out here. If you look in the modules, like I do most of the time, if I have, and I had time this morning to do this, you can go to week 10 and you can use the graphic organizers at the top there. Okay, so there's chapter 10.1, chapter test, right? The graphic organizers that talk about Mendeleev, how to calculate protons, electrons, the periods and groups. Okay, so those are in there. Okay, so I'm going to open a breakout room, and I'm going to invite the new people here. So let me do that. Oh, Aaliyah, you're going to be there. Oh, I hope you come to see. That would be so cool. If you can make it on the 16th, that would be great. It's a Thursday. You get credit for being there. All right. Good for you. I hope to see you there. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to put this on pause.